China is striking back. The trade war between the US and China is far from over. And this time, American industries are feeling the pain. New tariffs from Beijing are hitting key sectors hard. Agriculture, devastated. Tech, under pressure. Manufacturing, struggling. But which industries are suffering the most? And what does this mean for American workers and consumers like you? Let's break it down. Let's start with agriculture, a sector that has been a primary target in China's retaliation. Before the trade war, China was the biggest buyer of American soybeans, importing over $12 billion worth annually. But when Trump's tariffs hit, China fired back, slapping a 25% tariff on US soybeans. The result? American farmers were left with millions of tons of unsold crops. Prices plunged, and farm bankruptcy soared. Take Iowa, for example. The state produces more soybeans than almost any other, and overnight, farmers saw their profits vanish. Some were even forced to plow their crops back into the ground because they had nowhere to sell them. And it's not just soybeans. Pork, corn, and dairy exports also took massive hits. The question is, can the U.S. agriculture industry recover? Next up, technology. Silicon Valley has long dominated the global tech landscape. But China's tariffs, along with strict export controls, are putting U.S. tech giants in a tough spot. Take Apple, for example. Many of its key components are manufactured in China. And now higher tariffs mean higher production costs. Who pays the price? You, the consumer. That sleek new iPhone? Expect to pay more for it. Then there's the semiconductor industry, the backbone of modern technology. US chip makers like NVIDIA and Intel rely on China as both a supplier and a major customer. But with China ramping up its own chip production, America's dominance in this field is being challenged like never before. Is the US prepared to lose its tech edge? Manufacturing was supposed to be the big winner in this trade war. The tariffs were designed to bring jobs back to the US. But did they? In reality, many American manufacturers are struggling. The cost of raw materials like steel and aluminum has skyrocketed due to tariffs on imports from China. And instead of bringing jobs back, many companies have been forced to cut costs by laying off workers. Take Harley-Davidson, for example. In response to rising costs, they moved some of their production overseas, the exact opposite of what the tariffs were meant to achieve. The reality is, manufacturing in America is still expensive, and tariffs alone won't change that. Now let's talk about you, the American consumer. Everything from groceries to electronics is getting more expensive. Inflation is rising, and wages aren't keeping up. That new washing machine? It costs more. That family vacation? Flights are pricier due to fuel costs. Even basic groceries are seeing price hikes. And it's not just because of tariffs on food imports. When businesses pay more for supplies, they pass that cost on to you. So are you winning this trade war? China's retaliation is hitting harder than expected. And as the trade war drags on, the real question is, what happens next? Will American industries adapt? Or will China's response force a shift in US economic policies? One thing's for sure, the impact is far from over. What do you think? Is the trade war worth it? Let's talk in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world economy. Until next time, stay informed, stay curious, and stay ahead of the game.